Tom Brady lost Super Bowl 52 to a backup quarterback. What does that have to do with this segment? Aside from sports, not much. I just like to remind people. But if you're looking for more sports stories, our very own sports editor Landon is here to help tell us more about a couple docuseries focused on the world's most popular athletes. Landon, what you got for us?
It is truly incredible how anyone from Philadelphia can weave that Super Bowl win into any conversation. The Eagles could go 0-17 for the next 40 years, and it would still be, we beat Tom Brady with the most random quarterback in maybe NFL history.
Can we also point out that David so far has attacked Tom Brady and the Miami Marlins? It's like he has a vendetta against Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Bring it
mean,
on,
hey,
Florida.
if we're sticking here, rumor has it Brady's next stop is Miami. So, Gordon, it might literally just be Miami.
Florida versus David.
I'm coming for Pitbull next, Mr. Worldwide.
Dale. So, all right, should we do this, guys? Should we get into what I'm impressed and obsessed about? But first, we'll start with impressed. A new series coming from ESPN and ESPN Plus is The Captain, and it's all about Derek Jeter. So, Brad, roll that clip.
What's Derek about? What's he really like?
My parents did a great job saying, you're going to deal with racism.
I was the one that'd be like, who are you looking at?
Their job was to get a headline, and I wasn't going to give it to them. If there were phones back then, my career would have been 3 years long.
I approached him and I said, are we good? And he said,
oh, man.
Kinda.
One thing with me, I'm very loyal. But loyalty one way is stupidity.
Nobody hid in plain sight like Derek Jeter.
There are truly just so many one-liners throughout there. It feels as though they're hitting like 15 different topics in 20 seconds. But this is a guy I honestly think, outside of Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, this is a guy that you can really put on the same pedestal as Michael Jordan. We're talking 14-time All-Star, 5-time World Series champion, first ballot Hall of Famer, 99%. Gordon just wants me to talk about Mark McGwire down there. I see you shaking your head. Look, Derek Jeter is the epitome of 90s sports. Baseball was at its peak popularity. The Yankees couldn't lose in the biggest city in the world. It's insane, and it's neat that we'll be able to get a documentary about a team. You look at the Bulls, and we got all that exclusive footage from that final season, as they mentioned, The Last Dance, executive produced. They had a bunch of secret footage, and truly what's secret about the Yankees is everything over those years. They were never in the headlines. There were never any issues, and it was all happening in New York City. And you look at something like this, I just think he's the perfect person to do this about. I mean, rumor had it when you would enter Derek Jeter's house, and he brought it up himself, if phones were around during his career, it would have lasted 3 years. He had a rule that when you entered his home, and rumor has it still has the rule, you drop your phone in a basket and no phones allowed in the Derek Jeter house. So there's just so much mystery behind this man. And I just, when you think it's executive produced by the brothers from The Last Dance, Spike Lee, who knows New York City sports no better, I'm impressed that we are going to keep getting these sports documentaries. And I'm impressed that they started with Derek Jeter, because there will be, like The Last Dance, so many untold stories that we should get ready for. And I hope some of them include what were the SNL after parties, because apparently those were some of the best events in the world.
All right. So first of all, I'm dying to see this. You're right. It looks amazing. Second of all, I hope they mentioned the gift baskets. Has anybody heard about this? The rumor is that if you were intimate with the captain, you would get a gift basket on the way home. And third of all, comparing him to Michael Jordan is like comparing ice cream to horse manure, my friend, because Michael Jordan, arguably the best of all time. And this guy right here was a better baseball player than Derek Jeter. He was never the best baseball player in the league in his entire career the way Jordan was. So I get that, like, he might have been a driving force behind, that legendary Yankees dynasty, but Jordan seems a bit lofty for Derek Jeter. I think the argument was if Derek Jeter played in Kansas City, nobody would know who he was.
Who did you hold up there? Who was that you held up, Gordon? What?
Oh, is it blurry? This is an Albert Pujols.
How would anyone have guessed Albert Pujols? Who would have guessed that?
A much better player than Derek Jeter. What do you mean? Who would have guessed?
Are we talking best player or best dude to steal money from a lot of teams throughout his career?
One team. Check the stats, my friend. You're a sports guy. Check the stats and tell me you would rather have Derek Jeter on your team than Albert Pujols.
That contract that he signed was almost as detrimental as Bobby Bonillas, who's still making $1 million every year off the Mets till 2032.
That's my favorite sports stories every year. Bobby Bonilla just waiting by the mailbox for that check.
What a payoff.
I don't care one bit about Derek Jeter, but this trailer and your explanation about it made me want to watch this. Like, I want to know what the deal was with him, like bumping into that dude. Like, I want to know who he was loyal to, that, whatever. I got like slightly during the pandemic, like back into collecting baseball cards, and like the unopened boxes of Topps, I think maybe 92 from when he was a rookie, 91 maybe.
Should be right around there, yeah.
Go for like several hundreds of dollars just for the chance to like pull a Jeter rookie, and there's so few that are unopened. So yeah, I mean, I can't speak to his stats, but obviously a legend, and I'm really interested in seeing this. I would not watch an Albert Pujols documentary.
I don't think Albert Pujols is nearly as interesting as Derek Jeter. I'm just saying Pujols is closer to being the Michael Jordan of baseball than Derek Jeter is, and so is Alex Rodriguez.
We can agree to disagree. And Gordon, you just said it, David. The guy he bumped into was A-Rod. Who? Let's talk about another guy. So how unbelievable is that you get all of these characters throughout this? It's gonna be really good. It's going to be.
Does it go into how Derek Jeter ruined David's favorite team, the Miami Marlins?
And essentially sold one of the best home run hitters in the league right now for a lawn gnome, basically. You know what? We'll find out. Hopefully the downfall of Derek Jeter's ownership career is not in there. Let's hope it's just the high times in New York City.
We'll see. What else are you into, Landon?
So I'm impressed with the captain. Comes out today, actually. And I'm obsessed with this Prime Video special on Draymond Green. It's called The Sessions. So, Brad, would you mind rolling another clip for us, brother?
I love basketball, and I hate losing.
I'm hopeful that we can help Draymond find a little more peace within himself.
The most important thing is to understand how to deal with emotions. Just be aware of the sensation.
What does fear feel like when it's inside of you?
How do you feel?
I definitely can see the benefit. Like, I can feel the benefit.
Landon, I don't care at all about Draymond Green, so you're going to have to sell me really hard on this one.
Let me just start with this. And in no way am I comparing the two, but one of the most hated people in basketball at one of basketball's peak times was Dennis Rodman. And what were some of the best parts of The Last Dance were the Dennis Rodman episodes. I'm not saying in 15 years we're going to look back and we're going to say, man, Draymond Green, unbelievable. Let us get a 10-part documentary on that. But what I'm saying is these grunts that are on these basketball teams, Draymond Green can't shoot and hit the side of the backboard if he tried. But he gets every rebound. He's the scrappiest player. He wins Defensive Player of the Year just about every year. He's an absolutely integral part of the Warriors' run that they've been on over close to a decade now. But his biggest thing is his fire. He is the most fiery, probably, individual in sports, to his own dismay sometimes. And Deepak Chopra and Debbie Brown take a really neat look into essentially what lights the fire under Draymond Green and how can we calm some of that? Because this is a guy who doesn't seem to have a calm piece of hair on his head. He is all over the place to the point of where he seems to be just following Charles Barkley's footsteps. He's got his own podcast now. He hardly does media interviews because he runs off to his podcast. And it's an interesting way to look at sports. And the reason I'm obsessed with this is because I think we're really back to the Derek Jeter stuff. we're really getting to look at some of these athletes. We get all these amazing documentaries on celebrities, TV stars, movie stars, presidents. And I'm not comparing athletes to presidents, but we watch them every day. Whether you like sports or not, it's fun to go watch sports. It's fun to watch these adults compete. And who are they off the court? Derek Jeter, secretive life. Draymond Green, is he as crazy off the court as he is on the court? And some really interesting interviews and sessions with, again, I mentioned Deepak Chopra, Debbie Brown, who are both psychologists, diving into sort of what drives Draymond and can he calm a little bit? And it's just neat to see how they're depicted off the court and sort of watch him learn with no athleticism involved. And I just find the collision of sports and psychology and some religion, I just find it to be fascinating because I don't think it's explored. And if it is explored, I don't think it's expressed very well through some of these documentary type fashions. And this, like, I love this, guys. I'm not the biggest TV watcher. We know that, but I was thrilled to watch this, and I came away just as thrilled that I did watch it as I was anticipating watching it. And I think that says something for me specifically.
I mean, I
think that's an excellent point. We watched The Last Dance. My wife and I. She's not a basketball fan, and I'm not either. But I grew up in the '90s, so I obviously had a love for those Bulls teams, and like she just kind of watched because it was on our TV and ended up like glued to the screen because it did such a fantastic job. So like, whenever you can get the behind the scenes stories of these people that live these like larger than life lives, I think it's fascinating. So I'm sold. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, and one of my favorite episodes of Frasier is when Niles is brought on to give therapy to one of the supersonic players, and the player just rubs Niles' head before he goes out and then plays a great game. So becomes convinced that Niles' head is a lucky charm, and Niles is upset because he thought that it was his therapy that was helping, but really the guy was just in his own head thinking that he got this lucky charm. So clearly I will enjoy this docuseries because of that.
It's just science, David. It's just
science.
It's basically just a documentary version of an episode of Frasier.
If you like, then anyway, check out.
You'll like now. Now you'll like now. There we go. I spit it out for you.
Check out the shows Landon just told you about in our brand new What to Watch destination by saying what to watch into your voice remote.